This car is tiny, but nevertheless we're gonna try to convert this mini clubman into an adventure camper. Let's get up. Like this. Wish us luck.
So here's a little backstory. This is Bertha. Bertha is our tiny little mini clubman, and back in September we had a couple of different projects to film around Norway, and in order to do so we decided to convert her into a mini camper. It's now April and we've gone on much further and longer trips with her since then, but I thought I'd just show you where it all started. The first task was to build a little sleeping platform, so we picked up some plywood, made some calculations, and started building.
We have no power tools here, so what we need to do is use just manual stuff to cut the plywood, and it's taking forever with all the corners and stuff.
Before I cut the table.
You cut the table?
No, not yet, but I could have.
Now we have a piece of plywood fitted the car. Let's see if it fits. Okay, moment of truth. Woohoo! Alrighty. Look at that! So this is it in like folded form. And now let's transform it. So we just turn this one like so, and then we fold these legs, which are basically already folded. Like so. Stay there. There's a sleeping platform right there. In a Mini Cooper Mini Clubman Cooper
Clubman.
Mini Cooper Clubman 2009. That's quite the accomplishment. We're gonna try and put the inflatable mattress inside here. It is too wide, but we're hoping that it kind of squishes in, fills.
Too wide and too long also.
Too wide? Yeah, it's also too long. It's 190 centimeters, I think.
Yeah.
And the length to this point is 175 centimeters. So, yeah. Just climb in.
Whoa!
Okay, that sounds promising.
It's like I'm on cotton candy or something.
This might have been a success. We'll see.
Well, it didn't really work out. Let's just say the learning curve on this trip was pretty damn steep, and a lot of lessons were learned along the way. For starters, you will probably be pretty tired all the time. We pretty quickly discovered that we'd been a little bit too optimistic about our sleeping setup.
What the hell?
This is very comfortable.
What the hell? I can just sleep here, like this.
Yeah.
I can fit in.
On night one, our mattress kept deflating. Turns out a massive mattress in a tiny little car doesn't really work out. So we switched to our sleeping pads after this. But it didn't really take away the main issue, which was that the car was simply too short. For me, I could sleep pretty decently in the car, but when you add a 192 meter tall man into the equation, you have to get a little more creative. So our sleep was never really ideal, but to be honest, it's hard to complain about sleep when you wake up in some of the most beautiful places. And because we were mainly on this road trip to film a couple of different videos, we had certain end destinations in mind. It's easy to overlook all the beautiful places you can go explore when you have your eyes set on your final destination. So instead of seeing those days that were filled with driving as boring days that neither of us were really looking forward to, we spent our time exploring places that we would have otherwise just driven past.
Our goal is to climb our first 2,000 meter peak, but we're now at 1,000 meters. The trailhead is at 1,000 meters, but it's already very windy, so it's going to be extremely windy at 2,000 meters. That is where we started. Next to the stream. Pretty freaking far.
Pretty freaking far.
1998. 1999. 2,000 meters! First time ever! 2,000 meters! Oh my god, yeah. She's just got 2,000 subscribers. And now we're at 2,000 meters.
I gotta say, it's not the most.
Wow, what the fuck? This is the peak. And then you can see like better peak right there. This is the... So we're used to like pretty steep mountaintops at this point. The past 2 or 3 mountains have been very steep. And this is like totally different. Look at this. Time for the most important part.
Summit Snicker.
Oh, that was so synchronized on this.
And some of these little breaks and hikes that we did along the way honestly became one of the highlights of my trip. So you never really know what you're missing out on unless you go explore.
Wow, what the frick? That was way taller than I expected. What the hell?
Oh my god.
That's crazy, right?
I think it's pretty cool to see it from here.
Yeah. Damn.
Another important skill that we picked up along the way was planning out our food. Nutrition can get a little bit tricky when you're constantly out and about, and grabbing meals on the go can get expensive and unhealthy pretty fast. So figuring out what foods were easy to transport, quick to make, and somewhat healthy and cheap was a pretty good lesson to learn.
So instead of buying a chicken sandwich from a restaurant for like 15 euros, we bought a whole grilled chicken, bread, cheese and cucumber with about 15 euros, and now we can make probably 6 breads out of it. What do you know? Restaurants are expensive. Excuse me, what's on the menu today?
A whole grilled chicken. And we made grilled chicken sandwich.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
With tomato cheese.
Tomatoes.
We've often talked about getting a van and living on the road.
Like, I understand why people want to build their vans for van life, because, yeah, well, I mean, it feels like you're building your own little house here. Maybe I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, though.
So I think the biggest lesson that we learned on this trip alone was that if we can live out of a tiny little car, we can probably live out of pretty much anything.